Hello to all you beautiful people out there. Regnilla over here bringing you episode 99 of Monster Hunter Freedom Night. We are just one more away until we finish off this series entirely. My god, has it been 3 years already? Holy shit. For today's episode, we are taking on arguably the final boss of Monster Hunter Freedom Night, which is the Ukanlos. Now, this isn't taking into account of Fatalis or any of the event quests, especially White Fatalis and whatnot. But in terms of the G-rank guild quests, this is the final urgent quest that you take on. And then afterward, we're going to be taking on probably the hardest quest, which is self-titled Monster Hunter by, well, Nikot. Now, we got ourselves Ukanlos right here. Very similar to a Cantor. In fact, one might argue that this is Ice-A-Cantor that can swim in ice. But then again, your average everyday Cantor can swim through lava, so it's probably just all relative at this point. Now, I got some nice little fun facts on the wiki right here, and I just want to read them off. So, the Ukanlos closely resembles a Cantor, as starts off by saying, as well as another monster whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, because A, I'm probably going to screw it up, and B, I'm also drinking a little bit as well for this episode, so, I don't want to turn the mere act of pronunciation into a circus show. It resembles them in body structure and possesses the same quadrupedal gait, so, weirdly enough, it kind of resembles a pseudo-wyvern, so like Tigrex, Nargacuga, and several others, and Barioth is probably another example. But it's also classified as a flying wyvern, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It makes more sense that this guy is either a pseudo-wyvern or an elder dragon. So to be classified as a flying wyvern, it makes no sense. Its massive, serrated, shovel-like chin allows it to fling large chunks of ice and to dig into the frozen, icy surface. So, in other words, it has a chin that is comparable to Kevin from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Just a massive shovel chin. Freaking awesome. The rows of razor-sharp fins running along its spine help it cut through the ice while swimming. We've seen that at the very, very start as he was kind of surfing through the ice as a shark. The swimming can also cause large chunks of ice to be sent flying, and it can produce a devastating ice beam. Now, according to the notes in the trivia of the Ukanlos page, the ice beam can be interrupted with a sonic bomb. Now, I've never been able to get it to work because apparently I guess the Ukanlos doesn't need to be in rage mode, but I just couldn't get it to work. So the timing might be very strict with the sonic bomb. Ukanlos is known to be able to leap significant distances by slamming its massive tail on the ground to propel it forward. That's pretty freaking gnarly considering the size of this freaking monster. Now going into the trivia. So if we look at the general stuff first, the Ukanlos' jaw, chest, front legs, and back can be broken. In fact, this is probably one of the few monsters at this point in the series whose back can actually be broken. Like another example I could think of is the Kizu, but then again, that's more considered a body break rather than a back break. Many of its attacks are also used by a Cantor. Melee fighters should not notice any real difference between fighting a Cantor and Ukanlos, besides learning how to avoid its swim attack and the falling chunks of ice caused by some of its attacks. Unlike a Cantor, Ukanlos' standing roar does not cause geysers to burst from the ground around Ukanlos. However, if you were looking at the footage earlier, it still does send you flying if you're too close to it and causes damage, so be very aware of that situation. The ice beam and melee and shovel attacks are no concern to melee fighters who are attacking inside of its right leg. So if you're looking for a place to strike, there you go. Ukanlos' ice crash, the falling chunks of ice, somewhat homes in on the nearest target before crashing into them. That seems a little unfair if you ask me. And the tail swing attack, the snow dust specifically, can cause the snowman status effect. And I believe earlier in the video, he can also do that by shoveling ice with its chin, and if you're too close to the head, then you could get snowman like that. So be very careful when you're getting close to this guy's head. And let's see, although Ukanlos, okay, that's a Monster Hunter 4 thing, that doesn't matter here. Okay, so going into Freedom Night specifically for the notes. The Ukanlos has the highest reward payment at 60,000 Zenny. That's a freaking lot. After defeating Ukanlos, hunters are rewarded with the Ukanlos bead for their guild card. So I never really touched base on this throughout the series, but when you complete certain objectives, or you encounter certain monsters of certain sizes, so like large monsters, small monsters, you can get awards for completing those tasks. Like in this case, we get an award for hunting the Ukanlos, and there is an award for finding the smallest and largest of pretty much every single monster, which that's all luck. So that just freaking sucks. Now, this is the most important thing to me personally, because I didn't know this when I defeated the Ukanlos, was upon its defeat, you can create G weapons. These are improved versions of low and high rank weapons. Defeating the Ukanlos also allows the player to upgrade their low and high rank armor further into G rank defense levels. So that's super cool. And furthermore, the armor set that I'm using right now, I was able to upgrade even more after this quest. So super cool. Now, going into the armor set, I might only have time to go into one armor set, but that's okay since the gunner set does not have a page that exists, which that kind of sucks. So we're looking at first the Blade Master Dark Ukanlos armor set with an initial defense of 500, a final defense of 580, with fire resistance of -20, a water resistance of 15, thunder resistance of -10, ice resistance 25, and a neutral 0 dragon resistance. Now, your skills include Quake Resistance, ESP, Sharpness +1, and Demonic Protection. The Demonic Protection's obviously the bad skill, because it will give you the occasional greater damage upon a hit, but you can gem that out with one of the 10 total slots. Now, looks like we still have some time, so going into the Gunner armor set, the page doesn't exist, but according to the kind of the mini armor page list that just shows you the list of armors and some general information about them, we still have that info. And so your Gunner armor set is also the Dark Ukanlos armor. And your skills include Reload Speed +3, Capacity Up, and Demonic Protection. You can gem out the Demonic Protection again with one of the 10 slots. And your resistances include a fire resistance of -10, +25 in water, a neutral 0 in thunder resistance, +30 in ice, and a 5 in dragon resistance. As a matter of fact, that 30 in ice might be the greatest resistance out of all the armors I can think of up to this point. But then again, this is Gunner, so you're going to have more elemental protection than you will with your Blade Master set. Your Blade Master set is great for just overall resistance. The Gunner set specializes in elemental resistance. So, I've been thinking, since we are coming to a close on the Monster Hunter Freedom Night series, I've been looking around trying to find out what game I am going to replace it with, and I have, I believe, made a decision. Everything seems to be working. I've been doing a lot of testing to make sure that doing this will actually work, but I was thinking maybe doing Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, but at the same time, I'm just kind of about Generations Ultimate. I don't hate the game, but I'm thinking, there's got to be something better. And then I thought, oh, maybe I could do Monster Hunter World. But at the same time, Monster Hunter World has a lot of specific grinding, and the quests are not very video series friendly, so they kind of meld together, as opposed to being like Freedom Unite, where there's a nice quest where it is just you do the quest and then that's the end of your video. So instead, I'm thinking about doing Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, and my biggest challenge was finding a way to do that game in English, because it's a Japanese only release. But then I found an English patch, and I have thus far been able to get it to work. So I'm thinking that's going to be the next series. So it's going to be a nice game that should have been released to the US sometime back, but never did. And I think it's a travesty. It's almost criminal that this game was not released in the States, but we will get more on that once I am ready to start with the series. But as of right now, the Ukanlos is on its last leg here, and I like this team because we have a hammer user. You would be amazed how useful a hammer user could be, because then you get the monster stunned, and if you got your monster stunned, then you can take chunks out of it, and when you can take more chunks out of it, it's quicker to dying. So that is the Ukanlos, the final guild boss monster, the final urgent quest of the guild. So this has been a trip. Next up is the final Nicote quest. Technically, this is round 2 of the Monster Hunter quest from Nicote, and I cannot wait to have my revenge. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in any of my other content, be sure to hit on one of the annotations that will be featured at the end of this video, and I will see you all next time. Take care, people.